Hello and welcome to another video. So this is part of my football coaching series of videos that I've been putting together, and I do want to have a separate YouTube channel for this type of content. It's just how I go about doing that as such, because I don't want to bombard you with so many videos that you can't catch up. So I am in the process of trying to use one of my other YouTube accounts, so I can have a separate channel for that as an educational network. And so I am planning on putting that together. I know it's going to take some time, and it's just something that I want to do, so I don't do too many blogs on one channel. But I want to talk about today, carry on with my football series, and I want to talk about communication and how important it is when playing football. And when I first did football coaching and coached my boys team, the one thing that I got to do is for them to learn each other's names, or every time they got past the ball, tell me their name. And that's a really good place to start. You've got to be able to communicate well when you're on the pitch, and your players have to learn to communicate. Now at kids level, all their focus is on is having the ball and scoring, but you've got to remind them that they are a team. So that's why it's very important to communicate, and for players to know, get to know their peers and get to know their team. And they've got to communicate in the fact that because sometimes when you're on the football field and your focus is on getting the ball into the goal, you want to think quickly of who you can pass it to. And that's why if you're watching football, they will hold up their hands like that, as if to say, you pass the ball to me, I've got no one around me, I'm here, pass me the ball so then I can continue to move the ball forward. So that is why communication is so important when it comes to playing football. The team have to get to know each other, and that's why they now do lots of intense youth training. So they're not playing as individuals, but they're playing as a team, and that's what you've got to remind them of, is that it's a team sport. Yes, it is. The one thing that I want to work on is on personal development, but still remembering that they are part of a football team and part of a football club. And what it is sometimes when you go from playing football in your local estate, for example, where you're just having a kickabout, is very different to when you start playing league football, because you have to register the players so the other team can make sure that the kids that you're coaching are the right age. Because there were times when my brother was playing football, for example, all the boys that they're playing against seemed to look a lot older than them, so each manager would have to go through the registration cards to make sure that the players that are on that field are actually the right age, is them, because they have to show photo ID now, and that they are in fact a part of that team and they've been registered to play league football. And this is even at kids level that you have to do that. So communication is very, very important, because they have to get to know where each other are, know strengths and weaknesses, how to pass the ball backwards and forwards without losing the ball, moving as the game moves. And without communication, there can sometimes be a breakdown where the passes are not going to that player but keep getting picked up by the opposition. So you do have to talk to each other when you're on the pitch. You do have to let each other know where you are, and that's how they learn to be a team, is by communication. And the other thing is communicating to the manager. If you feel that you are not playing at your best, this is where I would like to come in as working in personal development in football, and other genres as well. How they can build up their confidence if they lack confidence in football. Because sometimes when you've gone from playing in the under-16s and now in the first team, again, it's a different type of football because it's now very competitive. They're not sure if they will play in the next game or so. It all depends on their performance. And performance has to be, when it comes to professional football, 100%. But they still, they are only human, so they will still make mistakes. But it's how you develop. Sorry, I've got bloody police car going by. But basically, you've just got to make sure that your team know each other and that they don't play as strangers. They play as a team. And so you should, when you first start coaching, the one thing you want to do is get to know your players as well. And as a coach, communication is very important because you want them to do and play the game how you see it, for that is best suited for your group of players. But personal development is very important as well because, like I say, they can, once they go from playing under 16 football to professional, it can be very overwhelming. They know that if they make, the fear of making mistakes because it's, sometimes they can lose their place if they've had a bad day. So you do have to, work with the players as well as giving instructions. So communication is one of the top elements of football because without it, they may not pass correctly. They will start playing as individuals rather than a team. And you have to keep in mind that there are 10 other men or girls playing on that pitch as well. So you're not out there doing it on your own. And work with each player. Get your players to work with each other as well as you as the coach. And that's where communication has to be 100%. Because if the team loses, especially in professional football, it falls on the manager's shoulders. So it's very important that you communicate to players of how you want them to play, and also how you can bring the best out of players, how you can work on their skill, their psychological thinking, and there are ways of doing that. By example, if you notice when it comes to football, players will sometimes have their headphones. And it's because they're listening to music or a motivational video or whatever they're listening to prepare themselves for each match, and that is very important. Preparation is another element I like to talk about. And when it comes to communication, you need, if you are lacking a bit of confidence and there's an area of play that you feel needs to be worked on, you'll get frustrated with, that's where a personal development officer or the manager or a first team coach can help you, but you have to communicate to them. They're not always going to see how you're feeling if you don't speak out about it. So that's why it's very important in football that you communicate well and that you communicate effectively, because so you don't lose your way as a professional footballer, and you work with the team, you work with the club. So yeah, when you got your players on the field, make sure they call for each other, they know each other's names, and that they know, what they need to do when they're playing up front, what they need to do when they're playing midfield, and what to do when defending. And with kids, you can mix them around. And even sometimes in professional football, managers will change things around. They may choose a different formation that I've talked about a lot. Because formation is about organisation. Again, it's about communicating as well. So, like I say, when I talk about set plays, when it comes to defending, it should be the goalkeeper and a senior or more of or the captain or the experienced defender will take charge to say, right, you need to stand there, you need to stand there. We need to move back together as the ball comes towards us, and then try and gain possession and stop the other team from scoring. And the only way you're going to do that is for communicating, that the players know who each other are, they know where each other play, they know how that they move, that they can move with them, and it's all about working effectively that will help get results. and communication is one of them. So I hope that you find these videos helpful. I'm trying to keep them short and sweet, because you know, when it comes to football, sometimes you do have to break it down, and that's why I'm breaking these videos up. So remember to communicate to your players and make sure that the players communicate with each other, as well as the other coaches that you've got within your backroom staff. So I wish you well. I hope you've had a good week so far. This will be posted probably on Thursday or Friday, but I wish you the best of luck if you've just started to become a manager of a football team, and take care. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.